The Iron Tempest. The stars didn't care about right or wrong. They just burned, silent witnesses to everything happening below them. Captain Maya Zhang understood this better than most as she stood on the observation deck of the HMS Thunderstrike, watching those distant lights through reinforced glass. The warship beneath her feet wasn't beautiful. Nothing about the Thunderstrike suggested grace or elegance. Its hull was dark gray metal, scarred from 100 micrometeor impacts. Weapon ports dotted its surface like angry eyes. Deep in its core, something worse than conventional weapons waited. The Scorcher system, humanity's answer to enemies who wouldn't negotiate. Maya had commanded this ship for 3 years, but she'd never given the order to use the Scorcher. Not yet. She hoped she never would. But hope was a luxury space didn't often allow. Lieutenant James Park appeared beside her, his reflection ghostly in the observation window. "Captain, we've received new orders from Earth Command." She didn't turn around. "Let me guess. Another system needs investigating?" "Yes, ma'am. The Andromeda sector. Our deep space sensors picked up unusual energy signatures 3 days ago. Command wants us to check it out." Maya finally faced him. Park was young, maybe 25, with the kind of optimism that space hadn't beaten out of him yet. She envied that sometimes. "Unusual how?" "The patterns don't match anything in our database. Could be a new type of stellar phenomenon. Or—" He didn't finish the sentence. "Or someone else is out there," Maya completed. "Set a course. Standard. Approach protocol." The Thunderstrike's engines hummed to life, a deep vibration that Maya felt in her bones. As they entered hyperspace, she couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. 3 days later, they dropped back into normal space at the edge of the Andromeda sector. Maya stood on the bridge, surrounded by her crew. The main screen showed empty space, but their sensors told a different story. "Contact confirmed," announced Lieutenant Sarah Chen from the sensor station. "Multiple ships, unknown configuration. They're big, Captain. Really big." "How many?" "7. No, 8 vessels. Each one roughly 3 times our size." Maya's jaw tightened. The Thunderstrike was already one of humanity's largest warships. Whatever these things were, they dwarfed it. "Open communications. All frequencies." Static filled the bridge, then cleared. A voice came through. Deep, mechanical, speaking perfect English. "Human vessel. You have entered Krex Empire territory. Your presence is noted. Your existence is temporary." Maya stepped forward. "This is Captain Maya Zhang of the HMS Thunderstrike. We're on a peaceful exploration mission. We mean no harm." The voice laughed. It wasn't a pleasant sound. "Harm? You misunderstand, human. We do not fear your harm. We simply inform you that your species' time is ending. The Krex have decided Earth will be our next feeding ground." The transmission cut off. Immediately, Maya's tactical officer, Commander David Torres, spoke up. "Captain, they're charging weapons. Energy readings are off the scale." Maya's mind raced. 8 ships, each one massive, with technology they didn't understand. The Thunderstrike had conventional weapons, railguns, missiles, energy beams. Against an unknown enemy of this size, they might not be enough. But they had one thing else. The Scorcher. "All hands battle stations," Maya ordered. Her voice was calm, but inside, her heart hammered. "Prepare defensive maneuvers." The first. Krex attack came without warning. A beam of purple energy sliced through space, barely missing the Thunderstrike's hull. The ship shuddered as Maya's pilot, Lieutenant Rosa Martinez, threw them into evasive maneuvers. "Return fire," Maya commanded. The Thunderstrike's weapons came alive. Railgun rounds flew toward the nearest Krex ship, followed by a spread of nuclear missiles. They watched the projectiles close in, then simply stop. Some kind of energy field surrounded the alien vessel, absorbing everything they threw at it. Another purple beam lanced out, this time catching the Thunderstrike's rear section. Alarms. screamed. Smoke filled the bridge. "Hull breach! Deck 7!" someone shouted. "Shields at 60%!" Maya gripped her command chair. They were outgunned, outmatched. In a straight fight, they'd lose. Her crew would die. Earth would never know what happened to them. And these Kreks would continue toward human space, unopposed. She thought of the colonies on the rim, New Sydney, Osaka Station, Brandenburg Base. Millions of people who had no idea death was coming for them. Her hand moved to a sealed panel on her chair's armrest. Inside was a single red button, protected by biometric locks. The Scorcher system's activation key. "Captain," Torres said quietly. He'd seen her movement. "Are you sure?" Maya met his eyes. Torres had served with her for 2 years. He knew what the Scorcher did. They'd all seen the classified footage from the tests. Entire moons turned to ash. Atmospheres burned away. Nothing left but dead rock. "They're targeting our engines," Chen reported. "If they disable us..." Maya's fingers found the biometric scanner. It read her prints, her pulse, confirming her identity. The red button glowed to life. She looked around the bridge at her crew. Some were scared, some were determined. All of them trusted her to make the right choice. "This is Captain Zhang to all hands," she said into the ship-wide comm. "Prepare for Scorcher deployment." A hush fell over the bridge. Even the alarms seemed quieter. The Scorcher system wasn't like other weapons. It didn't fire projectiles or energy beams. Instead, it released a swarm of microscopic machines, each one smaller than a grain of sand, each one programmed to consume and replicate. Once released, they would spread to anything they touched. Metal, organic matter, atmosphere. Nothing was safe. They would eat through the Kreks ships, then spread to any planets nearby, turning everything to dust. It was a weapon of last resort, a war crime waiting to happen. And Maya was about to use it. "Captain," Park spoke up, "what about inhabited worlds in this system? Our sensors show at least 2 planets with life signs." Maya closed her eyes. Those weren't human worlds. They belonged to species she'd never met, civilizations she knew nothing about. But they were still life, still innocent. "The Kreks will kill them anyway," Torres argued. "At least this way, we stop the threat." "By becoming murderers ourselves?" Park shot back. Another explosion rocked the ship. Their shields were failing. Time was running out. Maya opened her eyes. The choice was hers alone. Save humanity by sacrificing others, or die here, hoping someone else would stop the Kreks before they reached Earth. Her finger hovered over the red button. In the view screen, the Kreks ships moved closer, their weapons, charging for a final strike. "Captain," Chen said urgently, "I'm picking up something else. Small ships launching from the second planet. They're refugees, trying to escape before the Kreks arrive. Refugee ships, families, children, running from the same enemy that threatened Earth. If Maya released the Scorcher now, those ships would be caught in its spread. More innocent deaths on her conscience. But if she didn't, the Thunderstrike would be destroyed. The Kreks would continue to Earth. Billions would die instead of thousands. The universe waited for her decision. The stars watched, cold and uncaring, as Maya Zhang faced the choice that would define her, and possibly doom or save humanity itself. Her finger pressed down, but she hesitated at the last moment. The button remained untouched, the Scorcher still contained. "For now, all stop," she ordered suddenly. "Power down weapons. Open a wideband communication channel." Her crew stared at her in shock, but they obeyed. "Captain?" Torres asked. Maya stood, facing the view screen where the massive Kreks ships loomed. "I'm going to try something else first. Something human." She activated the comm. "Kreks vessels, this is Captain Zhang. I have a proposition for you." Static. Then that mechanical voice again. "You wish to surrender. Pointless. Your fate is sealed." "No," Maya said firmly. I want to show you something. My ship carries a weapon that could destroy your entire fleet, but I haven't used it. Do you know why? Silence from the Krex. Maya continued. Because we have a choice. We always have a choice. You say you need feeding grounds. We say we need to survive. But maybe, just maybe, there's another way. She gestured to Chen, who brought up the sensor data on screen. Those refugee ships fleeing the second planet. They're running from you just like we're fighting you. But what if we didn't have to be enemies? What if we could find a solution that doesn't end with entire worlds dying? The Krex voice returned. Different now. Less mechanical. More curious. You would spare us, even as we threaten your extinction? I would try to find another path, Maya replied. That's what humans do. We adapt. We negotiate, we survive, but not at any cost. Not if it means becoming monsters ourselves. The bridge held its breath. The Krex ships had stopped firing, but their weapons remained charged. The refugee vessels continued their desperate flight, unaware of the drama playing out above them. Finally, the Krex spoke again. Your weapon, show us its specifications. If it is truly as powerful as you claim, perhaps, discussion has merit. Maya felt a tiny spark of hope. It wasn't peace, not yet, but it was a beginning. She nodded to Torres, who began transmitting carefully edited data about the Scorcher, enough to prove its threat, not enough to reveal its secrets. As the data streamed across space, Maya returned to the observation window. The stars still burned, indifferent to the drama below, but now she saw them differently. Not as cold witnesses, but as beacons of possibility, each one a sun, each sun warming worlds where life might flourish. The choice hadn't been between humanity and aliens. It had been between fear and hope, between the easy path of destruction and the harder road of understanding. She'd chosen hope. Now she had to make it work. The Krex response would come soon. Maya stood ready, her crew behind her, the Scorcher system still locked but available. Whatever happened next, humanity had shown its true strength, not in its weapons, but in its willingness to seek another way. The stars continued their eternal dance, and below them 2 species stood at a crossroads. The next moments would decide the fate of worlds. And the refugee ships, the inhabited planets in this system, acceptable losses? Kowalski's eyes didn't waver. To save Earth? Yes. Maya stood, moving to the small window that showed stars streaking past as they traveled through hyperspace. I understand your position, Petty Officer. I even respect it. But let me ask you something. If we become the kind of species that commits genocide at the first sign of threat, what exactly are we saving? Our lives. Our children's lives. Our souls? Kowalski shifted uncomfortably. With respect, Captain, souls don't matter if we're extinct. Maya turned back to him. I disagree. What we choose defines us. Yes, I'm taking a risk. Yes, it could go wrong. But if there's even a chance of finding a better way, don't we have to try? And if you're wrong? If the Krex betray us? Then I'll bear that responsibility. But I won't murder billions on the assumption that diplomacy must fail. She fixed him with a steady gaze. You're dismissed, Petty Officer. But know this. I value your honesty. Keep watching. Keep questioning. That's what good soldiers do. Kowalski saluted and left. Maya returned to the bridge as they dropped out of hyperspace into Void Sector 7. The screens displayed a cosmic graveyard. 3 gas giants orbited a dying star, their atmospheres rich with extractable elements. Asteroid fields stretched for millions of kilometers, filled with metals and rare materials. It was ugly, barren, and perfect. The Krex ship moved forward, slowly, scanning everything. Maya waited, tension building in her shoulders. This was the test. If the Krex found the resources insufficient, if they decided the risk wasn't worth the reward, Captain Zhang. The commander's voice returned. Different again. Was that excitement? These readings are extraordinary. The density of useful materials exceeds our projections by 300%. Maya exhaled slowly. There are 43 similar systems in this sector alone, all uninhabited, all available. This changes everything. The Krex commander paused. We must communicate with the High Collective. Decisions of this magnitude require consensus. Of course. Take all the time you need. As the Krex ship hung silent in space, processing and transmitting data back to their fleet, Maya's crew worked quietly around her. She caught their glances, some hopeful, some skeptical, all waiting to see if their captain's gamble would pay off. Chen spoke up. Captain, I'm detecting massive energy fluctuations from the Krex vessel. It's actually feeding, drawing in matter from the asteroid field. On screen, they could see it happening. The alien ship extended tendrils of energy, pulling in rocks and dust, converting them directly into sustenance. It was beautiful and terrifying at once. Efficient, Torres commented. No need for mining operations or refineries. They just eat. Maya nodded. Different evolution, different needs, but still life trying to survive. Hours passed. The Krex ship continued to feed, its hull actually glowing brighter as it absorbed energy and matter. Finally, the comm system activated again. Captain Zhang, the High Collective has reached a decision. Maya stood straighter. Around her, the bridge crew held their breath. Your proposal is accepted. The Krex will redirect our expansion into these void sectors. In return, we ask for ongoing navigation data and guarantees of non-interference. Relief flooded through Maya so powerfully she had to grip her chair. You have our word. We'll establish a formal treaty, set up communication. Protocols, more than that, the commander interrupted. This cooperation you've shown, it's unprecedented in our history. The High Collective wishes to understand it better. We propose an exchange. Knowledge for knowledge. Technology for technology. Perhaps a new paradigm indeed. Maya could barely believe what she was hearing. First contact with an alien species, averting a war, and now the possibility of alliance? It seemed too good to be true, which meant it probably was. I need to consult with Earth Command, she said carefully. But I can guarantee they'll be interested in peaceful exchange, as are we. But Captain, a warning, not all Krex agree with this decision. Some factions believe in the old ways. They may challenge this peace. Maya's expression hardened. And not all humans will accept it either. We'll both have to guard against our own extremists. Agreed. Vigilance will be required. The commander paused. You've given us hope, Captain Zhang. That's a rare gift. As the communication ended, Maya turned to find her entire bridge crew staring at her. Then, slowly, Lieutenant Park began to clap. Others joined in. Soon the bridge echoed with applause. Maya held up a hand, embarrassed but touched. It's not over yet. We have a lot of work ahead. But it's a start, Torres said. A hell of a start. Over. The next days, as they guided the Krex to more resource-rich systems, Maya watched something remarkable happen. Her crew began to change. The fear and suspicion that had marked first contact gradually gave way to curiosity. Chen started analyzing Krex technology, fascinated by their bioships. Martinez worked with their navigators, sharing star charts and astronomical data. Even Kowalski, the skeptic, admitted grudging respect for Krex efficiency. But the warning proved prophetic. As news of the agreement reached both Earth and the Krex homeworlds, opposition emerged. Some human factions, led by military hardliners, demanded the Scorcher be used while they had the chance. Among the Krex, traditionalist groups spoke of honor and the right of conquest. Maya found herself at the center of a delicate balance. She had to prove that cooperation could work while preparing for the possibility that it might fail. The Scorcher. System remained locked but ready. The Kreks kept their weapons powered but aimed away. 2 weeks into the new arrangement, crisis struck. A human colony ship, unaware of the treaty, jumped into a system where Kreks were feeding. Panic ensued. Weapons were charged. For horrible moments, it seemed war would erupt anyway. Maya put the thunderstrike between the two forces, broadcasting on all frequencies. "Stand down, all vessels, stand down! This is a misunderstanding, not an attack!" She opened channels to both sides, explaining, calming, negotiating. It took 3 tense hours, but eventually weapons powered down. The colony ship withdrew. The Kreks resumed feeding. "That was close," Torres said afterward. "Too close," Maya agreed. "We need better protocols, clear boundaries, marked zones." And so they built them. Slowly, carefully, Maya and her counterparts. Among the Kreks established the framework for coexistence. It wasn't perfect. There were setbacks, misunderstandings, moments when everything nearly collapsed. But it held. 6 months later, Maya stood once again on the observation deck of the Thunderstrike. But she wasn't alone. Beside her stood Kovacs Prime, the Kreks commander she'd first spoken to. In person, the alien was even more imposing. 3 meters tall, crystalline skin that shifted colors, 4 arms ending in delicate manipulators. They watched the stars together. "Your species is unusual," Kovacs Prime said. His real voice was different from the mechanical translation, melodic, almost like singing. "Most fight or flee. You chose a third path." "We're stubborn," Maya replied, echoing their first real conversation. "No. You're evolved, not in body, but in thought. You see possibilities where others see only conflict." Maya smiled slightly. "We're still learning. This peace is fragile." "All peace is fragile. That's what makes it precious." Kovacs Prime's skin shifted to a deep blue. "The High Collective has decided. We wish to learn this trait from humanity, this ability to find third options. And in exchange, we offer our knowledge of energy manipulation. Imagine, Captain, your colonies powered by the hearts of stars. Your ships traveling faster than thought. Humanity need never fear extinction again." Maya felt the weight of history on her shoulders. This moment, this choice, would shape the future of both species. She thought of the Scorcher system, still locked away but now feeling less like a necessity and more like a reminder of what they'd almost become. "I think," she said slowly, "that sounds like the beginning of something beautiful." As if in agreement, the stars seemed to burn a little brighter. 2 species, so different yet both alive, both seeking survival and meaning in a vast universe, had found a way forward together. It wasn't the ending Maya had expected when she first saw those massive Kreks ships. It was better. It was human. It was hope. And in the deep void of space, hope was the most powerful weapon of all.